What's up, Metal Summoners? We are super stoked, as always, to be rocking out with you guys. Very special episode tonight. We are live on a Monday. As always, we usually kick off your guys' weekend in the middle of the week, but we're going to kick off your weekend for the entire week. We are really, really pleased, very honored to have our guests on with us tonight as you guys rock out with myself and Angel back on your island of Misfit Toys. We are rocking out. We've got Becky, we've got Rob, we've got Dystopica in house today. First and foremost, Becky, Rob, thank you guys so much for giving us some of your evening, and welcome to the Metal Summit.
Thank you so much for having us. Actually, our band name's Dystopica.
Dystopica. I think I said it correctly in like all of the preview stuff I did, and then of course had to mess it up live. That's just how I roll.
Okay.
Dystopica. No problem. Well, we've got them. We've got you guys. We are live. We are going to have a little bit of fun. First and foremost, Becky, Rob, if you guys don't mind, introduce yourself to the fans. Let them know what you do in the band.
Yeah, I'm Becky. I'm the singer. I'm the songwriter and the founder of the band. And yeah, I mean, I do you want me to just tell my whole story? Yeah, I mean, I've been singing for a long time. I started singing when I was like around 10 or so, taking voice lessons, went down the classical route, but I always listened and loved heavy metal. So I knew like that was like what I wanted to do. It was my passion. So yeah, and I formed this band and it's been awesome since.
Right on, right on. Rob, to you, my friend.
All right, so I'm Rob. I play guitar, and I mean that's more or less what it all is. And if you really want to get into my history, put it this way: Metal Archives makes it a much shorter story. So if you go on Metal Archives, you can see every band I've ever been in, every guest spot I've done, over the years. It's been quite the journey. I mean, I started when I was really little, just listening to my parents' records or the radio and listening to classical music. Didn't get into rock and metal until my dad played Blue Oyster Cult.
Right on.
And what was it? I think the first song I heard was Godzilla, and that pretty much changed everything.
Yeah.
So, and then from that point forward, I started listening more in high school. Around my time, that was pretty much when the new metal thing was really popular. So, no, in high school it had already been popular, but in middle school that's when it had like just come out. So that was when Korn had released "Follow the Leader." Linkin Park hadn't come out yet, but Limp Bizkit had released "Significant Other." All that's Papa Roach, I think, just put out what was that record? Infest. So all that was kind of a big thing. Was kind of the big thing for me. Then in high school, I started going more classic. I went with Metallica, Iron Maiden. Then in college, I took guitar more seriously, even though French horn is my primary instrument. I have 3 degrees in music. I'm currently my day job is that I'm a music teacher. I teach grades 5th through 8th, and I teach general music, and I also teach modern band, which is what the whole concept of it started pretty much after the film School of Rock.
Sure.
So that's essentially what they call modern band now, and a lot of public schools are doing that. So you'll get kids playing guitar, bass, drums, piano, or pretty much if you can fit other instruments, you can fit others. But, they're playing material like they're playing Ramones, they're playing White Stripes, Metallica, that kind of thing. So that's what I do for a living now.
Nice, man. No, that's awesome for sure. So how did you guys to meet up to get involved with this? I mean, Becky, you were talking about, that you founded the band, but how did you guys connect in this?
We actually met at music school because we both went to WestCon.
Oh, right on.
Rob was going for music ed, and I was getting my bachelor's degree in vocal performance. And yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she approached me, and I was like, at the time I was literally just there to I figured I'd be there for like a year and a half, get all the work done, and get my certification and then start teaching, and just get that done. But being hired to be part of a band and getting paid to play music was was a really big sell for me, and I felt like it was the first time that I kind of felt like I had a legitimate professional career in this kind of music. So I felt like it was a really big deal and opportunity for me. So I went ahead and I said yes. So
yeah, Rob's still here.
Right
and
on.
I'm very glad I said yes.
Yeah. No, of course, absolutely. Becky, let me steer it back to you real quick. Let's talk a little bit about vocals. So you've been talking about how you've always been into metal music, and of course, with the giant family tree, the subgenres upon subgenres that metal has become. Talk a little bit about your particular vocal style and how you decided to go that direction, because obviously that deep growling black metal style is becoming a little bit more common, but still not overly common for somebody, frankly, that looks like you, which is a good thing because it brings a uniqueness to the band. It brings a desire to want to check them out. When Barbara had sent Angel and I your band and the information and music on you guys, I mean, I thought it was cool. I was like, wow, looking at your press photos compared to when I actually started playing the music, I did not have that on my bingo card. But I'm cool with that. We like that kind of stuff. That's what Angel and I are all about. So I'd love to hear how you went down that particular rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, I mean, my vocal style, I'd say it all started like from the beginning. I mean, I was listening to metal at a very young age. I was like 2 or 3 when I was listening to metal at my grandparents' house. They used to play Iron Maiden, Judas Priest for me, and Iron Maiden is my favorite band. Both Rob Halford and Bruce Dickinson are my vocal idols. I love that like classical heavy metal type singing, which was like, I'd say my main type of singing is that like the operatic, like the combination of the operatic vocals plus grit and the other stuff is like ideal for me. So that's where like I started like wanting to go down that route. I also love Pat Benatar.
Sure.
She's amazing. She's also one of my idols. So again, classical vocal combination with that and rock and metal. And as I like was doing that, first I started with classical singing, as I said. So after like I wanted to do this band and that, and I wanted to obviously sing with grit and do that like combination. So that's where I started. I started with like singing, adding grit and doing like pitch distortion stuff at false chord. Then through that I started adding more of the high screams, and then I really got into like more like I love Ginger, Tatiana's voice.
Sure.
And the growling, and I got into more like the like more well, not I don't want to say modern, but like I started listening to like more like death metal and like other genres besides like the typical or like the classic. I mean, I always did, but like vocally, I just felt like, you know what, like I need to incorporate that as well. So that's where I threw in the growling and stuff, and I'm very happy with the way it came out, and yeah. I just like doing it all.
For sure. Are you into Arch Enemy at all? Because I go back to the Angela years, but I love what Elisa does.
Me too, but I love the Angela years as well. Especially like my favorite song by them is My Apocalypse.
Oh, very cool.
Nemesis
is great. I love that too. I love that song too.
No,
I remember learning that on guitar forever ago.
Oh, really?
Song.
Nice. So how about you, Rob, when it came to like you said, joining a band like this, being able to do music professionally when, along with being able to teach where it looked like you, were looking to be dominantly a teacher first, how, was your reception to this type of like style in this type of band?
Well, I mean, I would say that I was when I first heard the music, I mean, what you're hearing now is almost a complete 180 from where it started.
Okay.
Well,
Where it started?
from when we started in 2019 or 2020.
Yeah, it's almost completely different. Almost completely different. When I first started, I kind of described it. I kind of described the sound as very, I would say like, and this was I thought was also was a really good thing as well. Because I was also in a band before that was kind of like that too, in somewhat. But it's music that you can play on the radio, music that anybody can listen to, and also music that I said to myself, this is something that'll definitely sell. From a professional standpoint, from a business standpoint, you can definitely tell this is going to sell. You know what I mean? So I said, all right, fair enough. Let's give it a shot. And then later on, it became more and more complex. And seeing where we are now, it's like not only is this music that people can listen to, that people can listen to on the radio, or that kind of like, I guess, a casual listener can listen to. This is music that can also be appreciated by people with more intricate tastes. People who are into, put it this way, your Rush fans, your Dream Theater fans, those are the ones who are kind of into the complex time signatures and things like that. The progressive folks, those are the ones who are going to like this new record as well. So you get the best of both worlds.
Absolutely, man, 100%. Angel, as I kick it over to you, my friend, I think we owe them, of course, a congratulations on Infinite Reflection.
Yes. Hold on one second.
No problem, my guy.
It's funny. We went on cue. You started talking about the new record, and here it is, and the track listing is right down below. So again, congratulations on the new record. I guess my question is, how long did it take to put this record together?
It actually took 2 years because of recording it and just everyone's schedule, just getting together, recording. Obviously, we have shows and other stuff going on. Everyone has their jobs and stuff. So overall, this album took 2 years in the works. We actually started it before the release of our second EP, Deception. Just crazy. We recorded 2 songs, Awaken and Animosity were the first 2 we did. And those were recorded before that EP was even released. So I was just like so happy to finally get them out.
And just want to say, it's pretty, Rob, kudos to you. You fucking kick ass on that record.
Thank you. I try.
Fucking kudos to you.
Yeah.
I listened to it and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And I mean, in a good way. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Damn, he's fucking shredding like there's no fucking tomorrow.
As I said, I try.
Yeah, come on. You try, but kudos to you, because I was like, you listen to the first song and you're like just blown away by the guitars, like, who the fuck is this guy? Because first time actually hearing the band. You can't look away this time. Like, can you talk about recording that song?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one is, oh my gosh. It was an interesting story, actually. When that song came to me the first time, it was a lot slower. It was a lot slower. Yeah, it was a lot slower. And I was like, I remember I was sitting to myself. I was like, this is like, I think the third or fourth slow song that I've been given. And so I was like, you know what? I'm sitting listening to this and I'm like, I really think this should be faster based on what's going on in the music. I'm like, this should be way faster than what it is. And because slow, I was like, oh Lord, like, this is slow. This one's really going to drag if we don't speed it up. So I sped it up and I was like, oh, there we go. Now it sounds like something, that now it sounds engaging. Now it sounds like, and then we went back into the riffs because then we realized actually our producer was kind of like, we had this riff that was playing like over and over and over again.
Yeah, the intro, the interlude riff was like originally going to be the verse riff, but we decided, our producer Nick Belmore, and us decided like we'll do something different and like play power chords there instead of just like chugging chords instead of doing that riff over and over again because it was like really repetitive.
Yeah, so the power chords were like, so the point was basically, and I kind of say this every so often to Becky. I say, when you're singing, it's not our turn anymore. When you're singing, you're the star of the show. Our job is to support you. So when it's your turn to sing, we back off, okay? And you do your thing, and we just back you up. And then when it's our turn again, and you're not singing anymore, then we can play that riff again. So
yeah.
That's
I
kind
think
of how,
if we're going to talk
about it, more or less.
If we're going to talk about like the first EP, like Perception, with You Can't Quite This Time and all those, yeah, I mean, definitely that one, it came a long way because of just like finding the sound for the band, and that was our first EP, first time working with our amazing producer Nick Belmore, and really just finding our sound, and then from there, like, now we got this album with all the craziness on it.
Yeah, and then musically, I said based on the sped up version of the song, I figured the sound was closer to like the kind of, I guess, the Gothenburg sound, I guess you could say, like In Flames, Dark Tranquility, that kind of thing. So when I came up with the solo for it, I was like, all right, what's the kind of solo that we'd hear from a Gothenburg band or a Swedish, that kind of Swedish melodic death metal kind of thing. And so that's kind of what I went for on the leads there. But yeah, that's kind of when I listened to the song the first time when it was sped up, I was like, this definitely has like that Gothenburg Swedish sound to it.
Did you record the slow version? The slower version? Just curious.
No. Once Rob brought that up, and we just decided to take it up tempo, we just did it.
Yeah, the old version, we did not record that at all.
No, we didn't record that. I don't think we recorded that at all. No.
People record like old demos.
We did do. I'll say we did do for this first EP. We're talking about Perception. We did do like demos of some of the songs at like a previous studio, and they were not great. But yeah, once we started working with a great studio who got our sound, and it's been amazing since.
We did do an acoustic version of Trapped, and I thought that was really pretty, actually. So, I thought that came out nicely.
Yeah,
so I guess you can say that's kind of the more or less the only demo that's left around that you'd be able to hear now.
It is. We do have the original, like the Trapped acoustic demo up on YouTube of its like a sort of original form, because we actually changed it after that.
Yeah.
And definitely when it comes to merch, one of the cool things that y'all did was do like the bundle package where they can have the t-shirt and the CD for $25, which is, I mean, come on. I mean, we grew up in a time CDs for like $16. So to get a CD and a t-shirt for $25.
Yeah, figure it's a good deal. T-shirt or CD.
I don't know why, but I'm starting to really like the idea of bundle packages these days. Mostly because the other fun thing about bundle packages is that sometimes bands like to throw a little extra in for free. So sometimes you might get a little extra something. So it's always fun to do. I feel like it's always fun to do the bundle thing or the box set or whatever they kind of come up with. A buddy of mine, his band, I think he had pretty much done this thing called Joey Diabolic, where originally the band was called Martyr Art, but he basically packaged everything he had done at that point and put it in like a little box. And there were things like the additional stuff in there were things like guitar picks. There was this incense flavor called or dragon something, and that was in there too. So there was all these extra things in there, stickers. So there's lots of fun stuff that you can get with a bundle or a boxed set kind of deal.
Yeah, because you kind of think about it, it's cool to buy this shirt to do the bundle package because, I mean, I'm not sure about you, Jay, but nowadays, I find it's better to have both the T-shirt and the CD, because then when you go to the concert, you can wear the T-shirt.
You're ready. You're ready for the concert.
So as far as live shows, do you guys have any live shows that they're going to be doing?
Yep. We actually have 2 this month coming up. We're playing at Cherry Street in Wallingford on the 22nd. And then on June 29th, we're playing our first big festival, Capulet Fest, which is we're very excited about. We'll be playing the same day as Skillet, Saint Asonia, Red, several other bands, Gideon. Very exciting. And then we have more shows coming up in August. We are playing at Bleachers Bar in Bristol, Connecticut on oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Rob, what day is it? 23rd, August 23rd. That's what it is. And then we're also working on a show in Rhode Island. So for those following, we'll always be posting our upcoming shows and whatnot.
Awesome. I'm going to right back up to you, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely, man, for sure. So let's bring it back real quick to Infinite. And so talk a little bit about how the reception's been for you guys since that record's come out.
It's been great. We are so thankful for all the great reception we've received on this album so far. We did obviously do we have our core sound, but we definitely expanded upon it and tried some new things. So I'm very happy with the reception that we've received.
Yeah, I was gonna say pretty much the same thing. I did get a message from one of our fans saying that they actually did not expect us to go in this direction. And so for them, it was a pleasant surprise. And, I also kind of wasn't, after listening to it, I was also kind of I wasn't really expecting that from ourselves either. You know what I mean? Because, Becky being the chief songwriter and pretty much an arranger and everything, it makes my job much more fun that way, where you kind of don't know what's going to come next. And when you get it, it's almost like it's almost like those people who do the unboxing videos on YouTube where they're like, I wonder what I got this time. Oh my goodness, So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Becky, for you, when it comes to being, the chief songwriter and stuff like that, and when you're putting together your lyrics and all that kind of stuff, what do you find is your driving force for that kind of stuff? I mean, there's so much stuff that you can get inspiration from, your family, life experiences, your job, the dogs, there's so much stuff that can give you inspiration. But what have you found seems to be your personal muse, if you can pin it down? Because I can understand, Angel can understand if they kind of just come from everywhere.
I mean, they do kind of come from everywhere, mostly through just life and experiences, but more so for me, music is kind of an escape in a way. Not that I love, obviously I have a great life, but just dealing with any whatever, like music is like my escape and go to, and I can just write about whatever I want in the song and get it out. So it's kind of like therapeutic. So that would be, I guess, my inspiration.
Sure. No, absolutely.
um,
Oh no, go
yeah.
ahead, please.
No, I mean, there's some songs like, I mean, about like other things like I'm a Gemini, about my zodiac sign and stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm a Gemini everywhere. You're a Gemini too?
I'm a Gemini is the song that we used for your guys' guest announcement on Instagram. That was the song we chose to use for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was definitely
That was
cool.
a fun song.
Rob, how about yourself, man? Like when it comes to like, you know, obviously, you know, there are lyrics and songwriting that's being, you know, put together for you, but there's still a certain amount of, you know, inspiration that you're going to need to tie in proper music that you write for that. What are some of the things that you look for? Like, do you look for like a series of like lyrics or an overall concept, or do you also find yourself just to be a guy that likes to like kind of riff it out and like shelve them, like, you know, like catalog them and then be like, I like this one for that or this for that? Or do you work more sporadically? Like, you know, without letting us go too deep because that's not fun, give us a little peek behind the curtain. What's some of your crafting concepts?
So actually, the music is also arranged for me as well. You know, first it's written pretty much in score or like in tab, and then it comes to me. And so basically, what I look for is when I look for first off I kind of look for kind of how everything is moving. I look to see if there's anything that I need to change as far as playability is concerned, because Becky writes on piano.
Yeah, so, yeah. So what happens is when I songwrite, usually it starts like where I come up with either a vocal melody or like guitar riff, but I'm not a guitarist. Like I can sort of play, but it's not great, and I never really like took the time to learn and whatnot. So instead, what I'll do is I'll play the notes on piano, then I'll record them and actually write it in a whole score later, and then that's what gets sent for the rest of the band.
Right, and so then it comes to me. Then it comes to me and the others, and we just kind of we look at it, and then and then in studio I kind of make any adjustments that I need to make, so it's just so it's more comfortable for me to play it, or anything that's, you know, for example, if it's like if
like in City's Onset, no.
Oh my gosh, so the story behind that one is interesting. There was one section of that song that was like completely unplayable. Like it was physically impossible to play it. And so we actually had to rewrite the whole thing to make it playable. And what came out, honestly, was, I think that's just fine. I think it's just as good. So I don't think we lost too much, thank goodness. But yeah, usually what I look for, since my job when it comes to the creative end of it is usually when it comes to soloing. That is almost exclusively reserved to me. So when I come up with solos, usually I try to think of a melody that's nice enough to go over what's happening in the background. And for example, if it sounds chaotic and wild and just unhinged, then that is what I'll sound like. If it sounds like I can put a melody over it and I can actually, or have a little bit of a progression going there, then that's what I'll do. Usually, sometimes I also take a few hints and inspirations from other bands and musicians that I've listened to over the years of my career and life. So, for example, I think for Episodic Waves, I was like, you know what? I think that kind of there's this lead thing that Brendan Small does in Metalocalypse, where he does like a lot of legato stuff. And it's stuff that you'd hear in songs like Awaken or songs like the Comet song, you know. So I figured, I was like, you know what? I think that kind of a lick would really fit for this song. So I went ahead and made a lick that was kind of in that style.
Nice,
man. In solo.
Absolutely, man, for sure. when it came to the actual setup and presentation of Infinite Reflection, like being that it's definitely coming across to me that you guys are definitely a very just intricate, like well thought out band. Like the way you guys work out your presentation to the songs, score style, all that kind of stuff. There's definitely a lot that clearly goes on behind the scenes. And I can imagine that the crafting of the record for release was no different. But how did you guys look at the actual like track listing and how you wanted them to flow? Because on behalf of me and Angel, because I know I can speak for him on this, we are album people. That is what we do. We love the story of an album tells. So what's your guys' thought process and how you want the flow or the roller coaster to go?
Well, for me, I mean, I am also an album person. I love listening to full albums. I love hearing the whole thing front to back. So I wanted to make sure that the songs were in the right order and that they just flowed into one another, or like that everything just was made you want to keep listening and really helped tell the story. And I mean, the story, the Infinite Reflections, like past and present and whatnot, but really like songs that like could go with each other. That started, I mean, first of all, when I write songs, I mean, I come up with like a lot of different songs. I actually have a lot of songs sitting still that did not make this album. And some of them just because I felt like they don't fit with what we have on the album so far. So I kind of like pick and choose what fits best together song-wise. So we started with like Awaken, Animosity, and then from there like recorded more. And I wrote out like which song I wanted where and whatnot. And I wanted to make sure that, like I said, that they would flow into each other well. So I wanted like I wanted the album to have that little intro minute song. So we did that with Revenge that flows into each other. Then we have each song like if you like the end of I'm a Gemini ends with like growling. So then the Far From Perfect will like start with me doing a pitched growl, and like so that it kind of like flows in each other. And then actually Episodic Waves actually does kind of go into the next song, My Fault. So kind of just planning that out prior. And then actually I was not going to put the Blackout cover on the album originally, but we were recording it around the same time. So it came out so good, we decided to throw it on there, but we figured we'll put it at the end. So it's like the whole album and then the surprise cover at the end.
For sure, definitely. And before I kick it back up to Angel, where did you guys come up with your title from? What was it about Infinite Reflection that worked for you guys and was like, that's the way?
Well, I knew I wanted the album to have the mirrors on it like that. And I wanted it to have something with reflections and infinite. So we decided like, because we have perception and deception, we'll make it a trilogy. Infinite Reflection will be the album. And there you go.
There we go. Nice. Absolutely. For sure. Angel, my guy, let's kick it back up to you. Just a reminder, fans, don't be shy. Pop in any questions, comments, anything that you want to ask Becky and Rob. Don't be shy. You know this show is for you guys. So make sure that you're popping in anything that you want to say to them, because we always make sure we check the boards. Right to you, pal.
I haven't heard the word trilogy in a long time. Well,
Trilogy?
In about 30 years.
A trilogy, yeah. I actually don't think I've heard of a trilogy record in a really long time either, or even if there was one, I don't remember. I mean, most of like if there was a concept album that comes to mind, it's usually just one, and then some reason down the line, someone will make a sequel. For example, And, unfortunately, sometimes they go the same way of movies, where the sequel is not as good as the original. I feel like, lucky for us in our case, I feel like it worked out
We
pretty
progressed.
Yeah,
But
the only sequels I can think of are like, let's see, Queensryche I know did Operation Mindcrime 2.
Yep.
I mean, it definitely was not nearly as good as Operation Mindcrime, but I mean, it wasn't bad either. At least I think so, if I can remember it. Then there was, let's see, Alice Cooper had Welcome to My Nightmare, the original, which was already pretty good to begin with. And then the sequel, to me, it was interesting because I felt the sequel actually kind of almost sounded like a Rolling Stones record. So it almost felt like a prequel rather than a sequel.
Oh. So, with Insidious Onset, got through curveball with a 7-minute song. Were any concerns of, are people going to be interested in hearing a song that is 7 minutes, knowing nowadays how people's attention span is?
yeah, I didn't care. A lot of times these songs, they kind of write themselves. I just go like, I don't just choose a time frame. I just write it and see what time frame fits best for the song. And this one just happened to fall into 7 minutes because of all the stuff going on and the way it starts one way and then the bridge, it goes like crazy and completely like somewhere else, and then it comes back. And I just honestly, when I first thought of that song, I thought of it a long time ago. Like I thought of the intro guitar riff, and actually that was the first song and only song that I originally wrote on guitar because I played the intro, and it's probably the only part of the song I can play, but I played the intro and thought of that prior to Deception. So this was like a song I had sitting, and I wanted it to be my masterpiece. So I was like, I'm just gonna make this whole 7-minute song, and yeah, I didn't really think of there's it's the only one on the album that's 7 minutes. So I mean, I'm not expecting it to be like a big single or something off of it, but it's something like a fan favorite, I'd say.
I mean, it's
I would say yeah. I was going to say that, or I wanted to add that, oh my goodness, recording that was, that was something. Recording it was really something. Like, I remember sitting there like, geez, how long is this thing? like every 10 seconds came another riff. I was like, oh wait, I got to do that again. I got to do this again. Like, oh my gosh. Like, and it just kept going and going. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then of course there was that part we had to do again. And the fun thing though is that once the song was done, it was actually one of the most satisfying experiences ever. It was like just imagine playing this game that you really, really like, but you're really stuck in this one part. And after you finally beat it, you're like, oh my God, thank God, finally. Like, even like what is it? It's like what's really popular now are like the Dark Souls types of games where basically you die and then it's like you have to start the whole thing over from like the beginning, like unless you manage to like save somewhere, and yeah. And then if you gamble and you decide, oh, I'm gonna pick my stuff up back, but I'm not gonna save, you end up losing everything, But it's like, it's that, even though it's like frustrating, it's like a really good kind of frustrating, So I would say, as far as an experience is concerned, for those listening, it's worth the listen. Trust me, it's that kind of satisfying.
You mentioned you have written more songs for the album. When it came crunch time to kind of pick the songs, did you record more than the 12? Like, did you have to do process of elimination of what songs would not make the record?
No, actually, we never recorded them, and I don't even have them fully written. A lot of them. I just like I have other song ideas, but I don't. I never like wanted them on the album. I mean, there's some I was like thinking one or the other, but I wanted to balance it out a certain way so that the album kind of has a little bit of everything. It's got the ballad "That in My Life." It's got some heavy stuff on here. It's got a good balance of songs. So there's some that I saved. There's some I have like I know what I want them on for future release, but yeah, I we didn't record any of those yet.
What's really cool is the album cover. Like you got, like I didn't notice it, but you got like a chessboard. Like, is there a meaning behind it, or is that left to interpretation?
Well, I mean, the meaning with the chessboard, it's kind of like, well, first of all, I wanted the mirrors, like the infinite reflection, all that. And you need something in the mirrors to kind of like, to give it more. You can't just have like the mirrors on the cover. That doesn't like do anything. So I figured the chessboard because it's kind of like chess is like the game of life. And a lot of these songs have to, or a good portion of them do with that topic. So, yeah, that's why we have the chessboard on there.
I'm having a Mandela effect moment right now because for some reason I could have sworn there was a Queen piece on there.
Oh yeah. So there is, if you look closely on our album, we do have the chess pieces change. So they start with the pawn, but then in the like towards the middle, it becomes a queen. So it's like evolving.
Wow.
That's a little like fun thing to notice. Throw in there.
What a cool shirt. You can look at it. I mean, Father's Day is coming up. That'd be a good gift for Psycho Steve. He needs a cool shirt.
Yeah.
He was on other cool.
Oh, for sure. When you were saying that you need something cool for Psycho Steve, he's a co-host of the show and he helps book our guests. When you were like, we need something for Psycho Steve, I was like, what, a toupee? Just because he's got a beautiful glistening dome.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why I keep looking up to my right or left here, it's because my partner has it on her wall. She has the poster here in her room, so
It's cool because we miss those days. You know, when people used to put posters up, and I mean, it's like the kind of album cover that you would not mind having as a T-shirt or poster.
Thank you. Yeah, I love the artwork, and I have my poster in my house. Yeah.
I put them up in my classroom, so I figured something to tell. Because one thing I always tell my students is that, because, when you teach middle school, they're always going to ask you, what am I going to use this for? Can this be used as a weapon? Can the guitar be used as a weapon? And I just say to them, all right, so if you really want to know what you can do, after music class is over or after you're done or after you've done your studies in music, just look behind me and you can do this. So that's what I always tell them. I always tell them that music doesn't have just jobs where you're just performing or teaching. There's a job like what my sister does, and she's a sync manager. So basically, that's like putting music in movies, video games, television. But it's like being the person that's part of a record label. So when the movie people or the video game developers or whomever, they come and they go to the record label and asks, can we use X, Y, and Z? Or we need this type of music. You guys have it. What can you offer us, and how much is it going to cost? So
you can offer your eternal soul.
You know, I'm gonna show you something that's really cool. Who doesn't like a two-sided T-shirt? Hold on. Sorry. There we go. Oh, hold on. This thing. Yeah, that's right. Oh, damn it. Yeah, there we go.
Yep, our two-sided shirt. Yeah, we decided like with this album we'll do a cool thing where we have the artwork on the back because some people like that, you know, the whole design, the artwork in the back, and then our logo with the little skull and snake in the front came out really cool.
Yes, it did. And it could be yours for $5. I'm sorry, you know, I mean, you are on the show to promote the records. I always like to promote the merch.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is available. Our other shirt's available. Yeah, I mean, we decided, you know, we love the artwork. It's really goes well for like the shirts. So having the two styles of shirts now, which is the first time we did that. Our other our EPs we just have the one style, but this one we decided we'll do that other style where it's the gray shirt with the front and back. So
I like that. I like that one. That one's way up my alley.
But this one?
Oh yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that Jessica Alba horror movie, The Eye.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put it right back up for Jay.
Little hands coming out.
Yep, little hands coming out. Oh yeah, no, I love all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I have a little side gig outside of the Metal Summit, which is a horror movie podcast. So I love anything that's like creepy and like awesome.
Cool.
Like
that's cool.
Tell us a little bit about the band name, though. How did you guys decide on that?
Well, I wanted something along the lines of dystopia or dystopian, like a dystopian society or something. So I decided like to take the word dystopic and put an A, dystopica, and I felt like it has a ring to it. As we're like, if I try to just take dystopian something else, like it just doesn't have the same ring to me. So that's how it came about, and I'm happy with the way it came out.
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, no, my when I did your all of your guys' announcements on my phone, and my phone kept trying to call you dystopian, and I'm like, stop it. So I kept stupid autocorrect. I'm like, no, I am correct right now. Like, I'm trying just because I can't find a way to pronounce it right away doesn't mean I don't know how to spell it. So, but no, super duper cool for sure. Metal Summoners, Dystopica fans. I think everything's been going so killer. You guys rock, but it is going to be last call for alcohol. If you have any questions or comments that you want Becky or Rob to answer, now's the time to go ahead and get it into us. They've been very, very gracious with their time, and we still have them for a little bit longer. But it is last call for alcohol, guys, when it comes to any questions or comments that you guys want to put in. So we've discussed the record, we've discussed the name, we've discussed about your guys' personal influences. What can you tell us about, we talked about your current lineup of shows, but what is it about 2024 for you guys right now that you're looking to overall accomplish?
We're just looking to get more fans, do more shows, and just get further than we've had before.
I'm gonna have to agree with Becky on that one. It's pretty much I would say that's pretty much the ultimate goal. But I think, I look forward to the fun part being, getting to meet new people, getting to meet new fans, getting to play with people we haven't played with before. Maybe playing with some people we have played with before and seeing them again. Always welcome. So.
Absolutely, for sure. And for fans that are learning about your guys through watching you guys right now, as well as getting to learn about you guys from watching this, at their leisure whenever they're able to, there are two of you on the screen right now. What can you tell us about the other members of the band?
Well, right now, me and Rob are like the main members.
Sure.
We have other members who join us live. We have Connor Sperry on guitar, because obviously it's all Rob on the record, but for live, there's not two of Rob. We have Connor Sperry taking on the other part, and he's awesome. So he does like the way our music is, it's kind of like it's not like he doesn't just do rhythm. Like Rob does the solos, but it's like kind of like a not two lead guitars, but two guitar parts there, not just rhythm and lead. So he takes on all that. And then we have Lucas Del Porta on bass, and he's also really awesome. He's been with us at all our live shows so far. And for drums, we actually are just working with a couple new drummers for our next show. So we're going to see how that goes. It's very exciting. They're very talented. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna mention, about Lucas. I was gonna mention, so Lucas has a lot of experience as with recording and live sound. So basically, anything that goes wrong, kind of as far as sound is concerned, he's always on the ball, and he's and of course he's a fantastic bass player. He definitely knows what he's doing. So, and if I was to describe Connor, I would say. And this is why Blackout works so well with us, because whenever we play Blackout, I really do feel like a Rudolf Schenker. And Connor is definitely, when he plays his parts, Connor definitely sounds like Matthias Yabs. Like, easily. It's literally that, like, the way we both sound on that song is exactly like Rudolf Schenker and Matthias Yabs.
Nice.
Pretty much.
No, that's awesome.
And I feel like as guitar players, it works out that way as well for us in the band in general.
For sure. Absolutely. And I love the Scorpions, and that was definitely something that I did want to bring up at some point, was just like, the Scorpions alone are amazing, iconic, and also have such an incredible catalog. But what was it about the song Blackout that struck you guys in particular as a song that you'd want to cover?
Well, it's both of ours. This favorite song by them. It was actually Rob's idea to do the song, and yeah, I'm happy we did it. We took it. It was our first time doing this, where because we usually just cover a song and we pretty much cover it as is. We don't really change too much. But this one, it was our first time changing it, making it heavier, more like keeping it authentic to the original, but also making it like fit our style a little more, and so we really are very proud of this cover. I'm very happy with the way it came out.
Nice.
I would say the same thing. Yeah, it's with Connor's playing on it. The way it sounded was like I said, it sounded. He brought the '80s tone. He brought the '80s lead. All the stuff that you would hear Matthias Yabs doing on the record. I feel like he modernized it a little bit, which
Sure.
made it that much better even. So it was honestly an absolute joy to record.
That's awesome, for sure, man. And Rob, just a curiosity question about your guitars and stuff like that. Are you a 6-string guy, or do you also play a 7?
I have played both, actually. I prefer, though, to play 6.
Okay.
I have played 7. I do play 7 every so often, but very rarely, because I feel like sometimes once you get past 6 strings, I feel like I can't play as expressively anymore. And
Sure.
while it is great to have all those strings so I can go lower or higher if I need to, I feel like I just cannot play as expressively with 7 strings or 8 strings, because then it's like, where can I bend? Where can I phrase? Where can I do that kind of fun stuff that I can do with my 6-string? It's
Sure.
kind of a lot harder to do, actually. Because once you start adding more and more strings, pretty soon you're going to have to start playing with both hands touch tapped.
Yep.
So, like a Chapman stick where you got 11 strings on it.
Yeah, Seriously. No, I definitely understand that. When it comes to me and the stuff that I do with bass, like I'm very loyal to 4 strings. It's just what I prefer. It's the whole style that I grew up on. You know, I can play a 5 if I need to, but the stuff that I tend to like noodle around with if I'm filling in on bands or just kind of jamming with people, it's like I'd rather just have a 5er around for a swap out, because I consistently just prefer sticking to my 4 and kind of playing more of that stylistic type of music. So I like the convenience of having multiple strings, but they also kind of get in my way to a certain degree, to be honest, because I've also got small hands. So like, you know, more strings often mean a wider fretboard, which is really what I don't want.
Right. You can also play, the other thing too is on 4 strings, you can definitely play a lot faster if you need to than on 5.
For sure. Absolutely. You know, it's like, yeah, I can get to this string now as opposed to going down there to get that or something like that. Yeah. But before we cut you guys loose, because it's been an absolute pleasure having you guys, let me kick it up to Angel, of course. Angel, anything final from yourself, my guy?
Man, when it comes to putting together the set list, how do you guys plan to decide what songs to play live?
Yeah, well, we kind of just decide like what is going to be energetic, or like for example, we decided to do Revenge recently, first live after the new album, because of that cool intro we have. So have that playing and then come in with Revenge as the first song. We do play the cover live, Blackout Live, which is very fun to do live. So we do that, Awaken. Just throwing in as like new songs that we feel like we want to do and are going to be fun. And we plan to throw in more for the future. So.
Just a question. The band is from Connecticut. Do you guys ever play like in New Haven?
Yeah, we actually played Toad's Place.
Just asking because I got family in New Haven, and I guess just kind of playing on a road trip and live.
Yeah, we've done Toad's Place. So
yeah.
I'd love to do it again.
Me too. We've done that. We usually play like a lot of Connecticut shows, because we're obviously from Connecticut, and then we've played other shows in the tri-state area, New York and New Jersey.
The one venue I miss the most, though, and unfortunately I don't know when it's coming back, but that was because I'm originally from New York, so that was my hometown, was the Chance Theater in Poughkeepsie, New York. That was my hometown. That was also kind of a rite of passage. If you're from Poughkeepsie and you're in a band, it's kind of a rite of passage that you have to play the Chance at least once. So, you know, I mean, I'd already played there multiple times, but at least I got to play there, you know, with this current project, and it's just sad to see the place go. I mean, at least one of the last shows that was there sold it out. They had to make 2 dates for it because it sold so many, and that was Hatebreed. So nice. The drummer's from Poughkeepsie, so that's kind of why Hatebreed sells out every time they come, and he's like always there whenever there's a show there. So it's always cool to see him.
Yeah. No, Matt's awesome. I'm from Massachusetts, so I love the fact that you guys are a New England band.
Cool.
I'm all about that. I also went to high school in Connecticut, up in that top left corner in the South Kent area. So that was where I went to high school. So I'm definitely familiar with Connecticut for sure.
Yeah.
The first time I hear you say that.
What's up?
I've known you for 4 years, and I never bothered to ask you what high school you went to.
Well, I'm not. Well, that's prized knowledge, Angel. You got to remember, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, dude. You have to earn the right of hearing about the schools that were still around back in those dinosaur years, dude.
So, Rob, Becky, the way y'all hearing this for the first time, so am I.
That makes 3 of us then.
No, absolutely, for sure. But before we cut you loose, guys, please let everybody know where Dystopica can be found.
Yeah, I mean, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. If you just, we have our link tree in our Instagram and Facebook bios where you can go and find all our other social media. And if you just search our name in Google and spell it right, you'll find it. That's what's good about the name. There's really nothing too much attached to it except for us. So, yeah.
And if you like a plain T-shirt, here's the T-shirt for you. It's $20.
Yes. Horns up.
Yep,
for
we
merch.
got all our merch on
Horns up
Bandcamp.
for-
That's where you can find all our merchandise. We have
There we go.
we are yeah.
That looks cool.
Right.
Somebody screenshot that.
Oh, hold on.
Oh wait. There we go. Yay.
All right. I think I got it. Do I have it? I do have it.
Cool.
Nice. I'll send it over to you guys.
Woo.
No, it's super duper awesome. But Becky, Rob, thank you guys again so much. And before we officially cut you guys loose, yes, the eye shirt, right on. And before we officially cut you guys loose, the thing that's most important to myself and Angel, that's always important that we let our guests know, is that how you guys felt and that you guys had a good time, you enjoyed yourself. Most importantly, that you felt respected and that you enjoyed the questions that you were asked.
Yeah.
Of course.
Great time.
Absolutely.
Great.
It was a pleasure.
Of course, absolutely. You guys are alumni now, your family now. If there's anything that you guys need, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Angel. We're more than happy to accommodate. Even if you're just like, hey guys, we had a pop-up show. Can we pop on for 10 minutes just to talk about it for a second and then we'll split? We're always going to say yes to even something that simple.
Hey, Jay,
Cool.
It's really
Yeah,
kind of you guys. Thank you.
Of course, no problem. What's up, Angel?
if you have a new video, on premiere it some, like MTV used to do, world premiere on the Metal Summit.
All
Absolutely.
right.
Be happy to do that. We'd be definitely happy to put that guy out there for you guys as well to assist in that. Yeah, anything that we're here at your disposal, guys. We're a show for you guys and we're a show for the fans. So anything that we can do to help you guys, get any extra word out, shows, music, a t-shirt, we got you guys. So it's absolutely been a pleasure. And not only our appreciation to you guys, but of course our appreciation to Pavement and to Barbara for, letting you allowing us to talk to you guys.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. It's an
Thank you so much for having us. It was so much fun.
Awesome. So glad you guys had a good time. And Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much. Dystopica fans, thank you guys so much. And that's what's important, is that you guys are supporting them. They're out on the road. They're putting out new music. They just dropped an album for you guys to enjoy, and make sure that you guys are getting out to support them. We understand to a certain degree, things like a concert ticket or a t-shirt can be a little bit tricky. But if you guys do have Facebook, things like that, a like, a share, a follow, anything that's going to allow their music, their video, or their faces to move around the intro web is always going to assist in some way. So we definitely appreciate you guys for that. On behalf of myself and Angel, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. You're our Metal Summoners, and you guys totally rock. Thank you so much for supporting this show. We are actually going to see you guys in 2 days for a fresh episode. We're going to have Joe Defiant from Defiant on the show. But again, on behalf of Becky and Rob with Dystopica, we really appreciate them as well. Again, thank you guys so much. Metal Summoners, thank you guys. Make sure that you're following the Metal Summit on Facebook and YouTube in particular, because that's where the interviews are, but also follow us on Instagram, because that's where we put out the guest announcements. Angel can be found at Angel Alamo 78 on Instagram as well as Facebook, and you can follow me easiest at Salem.Vampire on Instagram. And again, thank you so much for following the Metal Summit. Thank you guys for rocking out with the Metal Summit. We will see you guys in 2 days for a brand new episode. Again, thank you so much to Dystopica for spending their evening with us, and we will see you guys soon. Take care. Be good to each other. See you in a couple of days. As always, you've been watching